Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. The Brooks Bench Fantasy Live. Mic check. Can you guys all hear me good? Meg, can you guys hear Meg?
What's up, y'all?
What? Week 5 is in the books. We're on to week 6. We are trying something a little new. Meg, actually, can you plug that in for me? We always have connectivity issues, so I want to make sure. My what's it called? Ethernet is plugged in. But we have a lot to go over. We're changing a new format today. Someone had suggested, I think it was Josh. Josh suggested in Discord. So sit tight with us on that. And yeah, we'll get better at it though. It was a lot. Because they like to jam about 10 games on one day, but have nothing on a Monday, which is today. So, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button. We're here every Monday for fantasy advice. And with that said, let's get into it. Injury report is first. We have some updates. Kelsey Plum ended up only missing that one game. It was a leg injury. She is fine now. Tiffany Hayes has also returned. DeWanna Bonner, personal out. I'm sure you guys can just drop her at this point if you guys haven't already. We talked about it in our recap video. If you guys haven't seen it, go check that out. But I personally don't think DeWanna Bonner's coming back to the Indiana Fever this season. But Meg, what's your kind of stance on that?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing a bunch of different rumors. Like, I think even someone commented on one of our things that they took down Bonner's stuff in the stadium or something, and then she's unfriending people off of social media. I don't know. It's crazy. I didn't see it coming. I took it as the fact that, she was, coming off the bench and all that she was just taking more of a role where, I don't know. I just thought she was taking on a different role. I didn't read into it.
Yeah, well, anyway, she's going to be out. Would you drop her if you're in fantasy leagues?
It's crazy, but yeah, I guess I would. I think if you're in a situation where you've been winning and you can hold on to see what happens, sure.
I don't even think it's worth it.
But at this point with the league, with everyone, with the Euro players, it's very slim pickings. So I think you would just drop her until something happens.
Definitely. Asia Wilson returned. Odyssey Sims still out for personal reasons. Don't think this is a DeWanna Bonner situation, but definitely something to monitor. Nafisa Collier back day to day. I believe she is questionable for tomorrow, so monitor that. I do want to touch on that. Cheryl Reeves said that she has a bulging disc. She said it's not better, not worse, but it is something she's going to be dealing with. So just keep that in mind if you're a Nafisa manager as well. Sabrina, you killed me, girl. I know. Those kink in the necks are no joke to play with. I've had them. She is day-to-day right now. Something to monitor. There's no update on how long she's going to be out for. But a big one, Jonquel Jones re-injured the ankle. Out 4 to 6 weeks. We have some questions about Jonquel Jones that we'll be addressing later in a Q&A session. But Meg, what's your temperature on Jonquel?
This one hurts. I have her in a couple leagues. This one actually hurts a lot. I think in one league, I might have to drop her. I just can't afford. I have too many people with IR, so you kind of have to decide which one you're gonna hold on to. 4 to 6 weeks is kind of a long time, so I feel like I'm probably gonna drop her, and then if I get lucky to pick her back up, great. If someone has an IR spot that can grab her, better for you.
And that's basically over for fantasy playoffs, right?
Yeah. 4 to 6 weeks, yeah.
If you think about it, I think that's what?
That's only helping you maybe
in playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna
get in the playoffs.
It's gonna cut it close. So you gotta do what you gotta do, honestly. Lexi Hale day to day. Jessica Shepard is back from overseas, so she will be playing Tuesday. Curious to see what her role is moving forward. And then Camila Cardoso, overseas. She will be out. No timetable. And we'll be talking about who we think is going to step up in Cardoso's place. Obviously, this is good for Angel Reese. Everyone talks about it, how they eat each other's points, they eat each other's rebounds. So now you're going to be without Cardoso. So it'll open it up for Reese a little bit. And then we'll talk about, like I said, who we think is going to potentially take over that spot for her. Game count week 6. So everyone has 3 games except Phoenix. Phoenix only has 2. And this is where it becomes a little difficult. Phoenix's 2 games are the weekend. So their first game's not till Friday. So it's a little bit of a bummer. And I feel like I've double-checked this like 3 times. Meg, I don't know if you want to double-check for me again. Because why does everyone else have 3 games and Phoenix only has 2? So that's just something to monitor. But yes. It's a bummer because Sammy Whitcomb has been such an important piece, especially for fantasy. And now you're going to be battling all week. Do you hold on to Sammy Whitcomb to help you through the weekend, or do you move on? And we'll be answering that question because I have Sammy in a couple of leagues, and I'm trying to make that decision for myself. So that's something to monitor as well. So like I said, waiver wire rankings, we're going to go day by day for the game slates. We're going to rank. If we were looking at the waiver wire on, for example, we'll just skip to Tuesday. If we're looking at the waiver wire on Tuesday, these are all the people that are available in less than, or rostered in less than 50% of leagues, right? So I find it a little difficult because Erica Wheeler and Lexi Hull, they're 48% rostered. They're literally 50%. But if they're there, I'm still going to mention them for you guys because they might be sitting on your waiver wire. For me, those are the top 2 picks. They're going to be steady. They start. They get good minutes. And that is something you really want. The next 2, Natisha Hyman, Tahina Paopao. There are questions about Tahina Paopao's consistency. Megan, tell us about Tahina Paopao. Do we ride the high? Is this too good to be true? What are you thinking?
I say you ride the high. They've been in a lot of close games. I think they're going to continue to be in some close games, and she's been heating up and hitting big shots for them, and I think they're going to continue to give her those minutes. So I would ride the high. They play Dallas next. It's a great matchup. I still think she'll be able to do well in that game.
Would you have her this high?
Looking at the ranking, yes.
I'm riding the high. I picked her up as soon as I could in almost every league. If she burns me, she burns me. But she's on a tear right now. I'm going to capitalize on that. She's gaining confidence. She looks comfortable, and she's having fun. And her teammates believe in her. I'm riding it. I think she's going to continue to have fantasy output. 3 games this week. So, yeah, she's in all my lineups. Elizabeth Williams has moved up. Obviously, everyone's like, what? Elizabeth Williams, before what was it, her ACL?
Yeah.
Before I forgot what the injury was. But before that happened, she was cooking. She was really good for fantasy. And I'm pretty sure she's going to step into that role for Camila Cardoso. I think it's a great pickup. Everyone in all my leagues already had her, so I wasn't able to snag her. But I think she's going to be a great replacement. She's going to put up solid numbers, and she's been pretty consistent these last 2 games, right? Meg, what are you thinking on Elizabeth Williams' role?
Yeah, no, she's going to get the minutes. She has the veteran knowledge and everything. She's going to get the minutes. She's going to probably put up points for them. So, yeah, she'd be a good pickup.
Shaz, I see you said hoping Onion Ware can step up as well. Yes, that is someone else to monitor. It's a bummer because Onion Ware last year for fantasy was really good for us, especially off the waiver wire. Yeah. Definitely took a dip in production, but monitor Onion Ware definitely. Just not right now. She hasn't really done much, which is a total bummer in my opinion. I do want to shout out, obviously, these next 3. Nas, Suge, and Isaiah James. Isaiah James secretly killing it. Right when she got those starting minutes, she's been in the 20s for fantasy points in the last, 2 games. I say ride the high as well. If she continues to start, Dejanay is going to be out. She's doubtful. I forgot to mention that in the injury report, actually. She's going to be doubtful for tomorrow. Just ride the high. She's doing well. 26 fantasy points, 27 fantasy points in the last 2 games. Same with Sug Sutton, 29 and 16. Now that I look at this, I think I might... I don't know. Would you rather pick up Isaiah or Suge?
Yeah, I think Isaiah needs to be higher.
Yeah, now I'm looking at it. I think I would go Isaiah over Suge if I was looking at it. But yeah, I think Nas as well. Nas and Paopao. I think considerations for 6th player of the year. They've been doing very well for Atlanta. other than that, I mean, we're going to get slim after that. You're going to get into the riskier picks. Obviously, Kyla Charles surprisingly was doing well, but I remember we already went through her roller coaster of performances earlier in the season. We were like, okay, let's bet on her, and then after that, she had 3 points, or they just didn't even play her. So I would caution, sure, ride the high. There's not a lot of players out there on the waiver wire anyways. As you're looking at this list, Meg, who else do you want to point out?
I think Sophie Cunningham's still a good pick up. She could easily be one to pop off in any game because if she gets hot and hits threes, that'll be a good one. But I'm still waiting for that banger game from Rebecca Allen.
I know.
She's still right in that pack for you because there's the potential for her to really go off. She just hasn't done it yet, but I know that it's in her because we dealt with it last year. But that's about it. Everyone else, their minutes have kind of decreased. You're not seeing a whole lot. Leah Rue is still getting good minutes, but she's not doing a ton with it. It's hit or miss. But if she continues to get the minutes, she could heat up. She is new to that team still, so it could be just her adjusting. But hopefully it doesn't take too long where the Euro people come back.
And I want to say, I'm going to butcher her name, Maria Klundikova. Obviously, she had that really good performance, 33 fantasy points, but that was with Jessica Shepard out and Nafisa Collier. Getting Jessica Shepard back and possibly Nafisa Collier, monitor that. I know she's on some rosters I've seen in our league, so just keep that in mind as well. Over to Wednesday. So Wednesday, we have New York versus Golden State, Connecticut Sun versus Las Vegas Aces. Shorter list. But still some good players out there. Like I said, if you guys weren't here at the beginning, we're only discussing players that are less than 50% rostered. Tiffany Hayes, surprisingly, is still in the 40% rostered. So she's obviously my number one. I mean, I don't know. Should she still be number one as a pickup?
Yeah, she's back in the starting lineup. You know that they want the ball in her hands a lot of times. So yeah, she should be picked back up.
Yeah. And then for me, Leticia Mihir and Niara Sabli. John Quell's going to be out. Obviously, Kennedy Burke is a good pickup. I went back and forth of who I should pick, Niara or Kennedy, and I think I should have put Kennedy first just because Kennedy has the upside of the three-point shot, so you can disregard that. But I still think both are good pickups. Niara is way more available than Kennedy, so I feel like maybe that's why I kind of went with her higher, in my opinion. But Leticia Mihir, she gets around that 20-minute mark, but she also goes in when Golden State is, handling business, and she plays a lot of minutes. Maybe it's garbage time, but when she comes in, she's efficient with her minutes fantasy-wise, and it's just been very impactful. 27 and 26 fantasy points in the last 2 games. I think we can still ride this high. It'll probably change when overseas players come back, but I think I would take her over Monique Billings. Monique Billings has been killing me. I've had both of them, and Mihir has outperformed Monique Billings more than not. So, I mean, what are you thinking on that?
Yeah, Leticia has been grabbing rebounds. She's doing it all over the floor. Grabbing rebounds. She's
blocking
had blocks,
shots. Yes.
And she's looking to score, right? She's looking to be aggressive, get to the line at the very least. So, I think that's why she has to be ranked higher than Monique.
Yeah, definitely.
Has a higher ceiling than Monique.
Yeah. And then for Anissa Morrow and Olivia Nelson-Ododa, now this one is going to be difficult because I feel like now all of a sudden they're giving Anissa Morrow her time to shine, and it's eating into Olivia Nelson-Ododa, but Ododa is pretty effective when she is in. So, I mean, what are you doing with those 2 players?
Yeah, this one's hard. It does look like they're trying to give more minutes to Anissa, but it's like you look at games like yesterday when they were playing the Valkyrie and got blown out. They sat Anissa Morrow, so it's like she didn't get a lot of minutes, so it's a little confusing. I don't know what they're doing over there. So I mean, between Olivia and Anissa, it's going to be a guessing game. It looks like Olivia's getting the consistent minutes, because she's been at least over 20 minutes for the past so many games. Yeah. But yeah, that one's tough. But both of them have been at least in the double figures. So.
They're doing very well. I know I misspelled Chloe Bibby's name. My bad. We got home late. It's been a mess, but I got here, and we're here live. I think Chloe Bibby's interesting. They like her, and they're playing her, and I feel like we can capitalize on that, especially in these deeper 10-man leagues when there is probably no one. You're probably looking at like Kate Martin, Chloe Bibby, Kia Stokes for like in those big leagues. So I think she's someone that you guys could bet on. Sanaya Rivers, JC Selden, Bria Hartley, the freaking Connecticut trio. I think I would go in that order, picking them up. I mean, what do you think?
Well, Chloe has the green light.
It looks like
she has the green light. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm a Valkyries fan. They all have the green light. I think they want to be a 3-point team, so they just give everyone a green light to shoot the ball. But Chloe Bibby, she didn't skip a beat. She came out there getting that ball up, and she's been making some. So I think she's going to continue to have that go. And, I mean, if she can stay hot, I mean, I don't know, what was she?
24 fantasy points, 20 fantasy points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, 3 for 7. I mean, so yeah, she's shooting 7 threes a game. And that's not even counting any other, like, getting to the baskets, rebounding, layups, all that stuff. So yeah, I think she's going to be a good pickup, and they like her there. They really do.
I also want to point out Stephanie Talbot, Aaliyah Nye. I feel like Talbot is, like, very up, down. Like, you could get a good performance out of her. Like, she could give you 20 fantasy points, but then also she could give you, like, 9. But she's going to get minutes. Aaliyah Nye, on the other hand, she's had some good performances. 14 fantasy points, 19 fantasy points. It's solid. I feel like Vegas is starting to trust her off the bench. And, like, I think she's worth, like, a dart throw. Like, to just plug her in, especially if you need someone.
Yeah, it looks like she's the one that Hammond trusts the most off the bench, so she'll at least get those minutes. And then Maureen Johannes, I feel like you guys should keep an eye on that, because if Sabrina is out, I would think that they would have to lean on Maureen. Their depth is just not really there in New York right now, so they're going to have to lean on her. And her, if she's hot, she has a way higher ceiling than a lot of the people above her. The issue is that it's not consistent, so that's the reason we put her kind of lower. But just keep in mind, like, if you're in a tight, close matchup and you need someone that has that high ceiling, like, man, I need someone that can maybe get me a ton of points, she will be one that could do that for you. So
definitely. I know Late wasn't considerably on the injury report, but Meg, do you want to tell them what happened to Late?
So she's been dealing with back pain, and so I think that they're gonna try to let her rest. I think that they're doing it in a way where they don't want to put her on the injury report and rule her out in case they need her. But, like, for instance, yesterday they didn't really need her against Connecticut, so they didn't play her. She was available, they just didn't play her. So I would just be mindful of that they might be doing that the next couple games just to get her back healthy.
Definitely. Anyone else?
No.
Let me answer some questions in the chat because they do have to do with these players. Do we know why Nelson Adota got benched? No idea.
No, Moral.
A little confused. Huh?
I think it's just because Anissa started doing well. But the thing is, though, she got benched, so she's not starting, but she's still getting, like I said,
good
over
minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really, fantasy-wise, she's still getting a good amount of minutes.
Edward says, I'm contemplating dropping Brittany Griner for Tahina Pow. Do you think that is a good move?
Honestly, yeah. I think it is. I think you ride that hot hand. Brittany Griner, especially if you're not struggling in the forward position, because it's 2 different positions, right? So if you can hold it down in the forwards and center position with dropping Griner, then I don't think it's a bad move. Because, to be honest, Griner's not putting up fantasy points like she did last year. I think Brianna Jones has a little bit to do with that. And I also think the guard play has just been great for Atlanta. So they just, it's guard look first and then post.
Which one would you pick up? Phoebich, man, I can't ever say her name. Geiselslaughter or Lacan when they return? Geiselslaughter. I can't say her last name, but her. I mean, I would. I like her. Who would you pick?
Me, I would probably say Phoebich. I mean, I take into consideration that New York, their bench, they're struggling with the depth. They're going to need Phoebus right away. I see her coming back and going back into the starting lineup. So I'd have to lean Phoebus.
Well, Geiselslaughter is also going to be back in the starting lineup, and she's good chemistry with Paige Beckers, who doesn't have as many scores as New York. Right, Meg? So that's my argument. Just do what you will with that information. All right, over to Thursday. We only have 2 games Thursday. Los Angeles Sparks versus Indiana Fever. Washington Mystics versus Las Vegas Aces. Like I previously said, Lexi Hull, if she's available, she's my first ranked player, and then Shug Sutton as well. I mean, other than that, we've talked about it. Sarah Ashley Barker's actually been doing pretty well. 7 fantasy points last game, but she did have a 24-pointer the other game. So someone that you can just plug and play in there. Washington players, man, it's not looking good. Jade Melbourne, I know, was really like giving us some up and down performances. Now it's really just like down performances. And then
she hasn't been getting a lot of minutes either.
Yeah. So Shug Sutton's been doing this so well.
Yeah.
And then Emily Angsler kind of fell off, and then we all know our broken hearts for Leah Edwards. Just didn't work out. Too many bigs to cure Austin healthy. It just didn't work out in her favor. Maybe a trade for her is coming because she's way too talented to be basically like 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. 4th probably on the depth chart. Anyone else that I didn't mention? Kia Stokes surprisingly has been in the double digits more times than not. If you want to plug her in, I mean, I refuse to plug in Kia Stokes. But I mean, what do you think, Meg?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing with Washington, it's hard because they have so many players that if they got the minutes, you know, they could do something with those minutes.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we don't get is that practice insider look. You know, we don't get to see what happens at practice. And I think with these teams that have quite a few players that could pop off if only they got the minutes, if we could just see how, because I think they base it off of more of what's going on behind the scenes than their last performance in the last games, because they'll have a good game, a couple good games, and then all of a sudden they switch it up. But then it's like we can't even get mad because the person they switched it up with also then ends up having a good game. So I think it's just, you know, the behind the scenes, what they're doing in practice and stuff that gets them those minutes. And then, you know, as long as they can perform, they stay with it for the hot hand.
Yeah, definitely. Over to Friday. Oh my God, there's like 100 games on Friday.
Full
Minnesota
lineup
versus Atlanta, Indiana versus Dallas, New York versus Phoenix, Chicago versus Valkyries, Connecticut versus Seattle. I'm pretty sure everyone probably has a solid starting lineup. But if you're looking and scrambling for someone, Sammy Whitcomb is definitely the number 1 pickup. She would have been my number 1 pickup on the week if her first game wasn't Friday. Because that's a bummer. She's been killing it. 28 and 30 fantasy points the last 2 games. Same with Akoa Makani. She's been doing very well. 22 fantasy points, 28 fantasy points the last 2 games. For me, they're back-to-back picks over like a Tiffany Hayes. But I mean, what are you kind of thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, because we're going to be a little repetitive here, because the thing is, a lot of these other players that we just talked about, they play earlier in the week. So like Brooke said, like, it's very vital that you pay attention come Thursday to see if you can grab those Mercury players, because those Mercury players are going to be higher scoring players than a lot of maybe all the other people we talked about. And they play Liberty, so they're going to have to put those points on the board. So I think, like you said, Brooke, they're the ones to pick up come Friday.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we talked about a lot of these players. They kind of stayed the same order. It was hard tracking all these players. They really need to break these games a little bit down. Like, we skip so many days of having no games, and then shove all these games on the same day and at the same time. 3 at 7 o'clock. It's so hard to watch 3 games at the same time. But I'm looking at this list. As we get thinner down here, I do want to... We didn't really talk about a lot of Phoenix players, but Catherine Westbelt is still pretty viable to stream. And then Natasha Mack, she's been pretty solid as well. Someone that you guys can throw in there. Obviously, there's a lot of other players with higher ceilings that I'd rather pick up, but you guys might need that forward spot, so Natasha Mack can slide in there. There's just a lot of possibilities. And I know we have Nia Coffey down here way at the bottom. her time is up. It was a good run in the beginning of the season, but we got to move on from that. She might have a very high ceiling game every so often, and hopefully you can catch that if you have her. But I mean, any other additional comments on Friday, Meg?
No, because I think really, if you look at it, with a lot of teams having 3 games this week, it's good that there's so many games on Friday, because there's going to be a lot of players that are picked up earlier in the week, and they're going to hold them to get both games out of them.
Yeah, I agree.
So you might have to, when it comes to Friday, look to see who's actually available. But no, there's going to be because there's a lot of games, there's going to be a lot of options. So
yeah, and you have to take that into consideration, just holding on to certain players because they're going to have 3 games. I know it's nice when it works out where it's like they just miss a game in between and you can just keep them. Yeah. But it does get hard when it's missing back-to-back games. Sometimes you have to risk it. I mean, I've been doing it. I've had close matchups, and you just have to let them free, and hopefully they come back to you on that next day, honestly. Over to Saturday, only 1 game. See what I'm talking about? We shoved 3 games on Friday at 7 p.m., and we have 1 game Saturday at 5 p.m. That is just crazy to me. It's Washington versus Dallas. I'm looking at it. I think I should have ranked Isaiah higher than Shug, but I mean, what do you think, Mike?
I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I think that Sugg is riding hot. So, I believe that, I mean, I know Washington got that win the last time, so I do feel like Dallas's team is going to pop off, so I do see Isaiah having to come out hot, but I think they're pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, what about Lee Rue?
I think you put her right in the right place. I still don't think she's there yet. That's going to get you a huge impact, but yeah, she'll have some value. I mean, everyone you listed here is going to have value in this game. It sucks. Like Aaliyah Edwards, I know we all know she can do a lot more, but she's just not getting the time. She's not able to really get in that rhythm, in my opinion. And until she's able to, it's just not going to happen. But the way that Shakira's playing and Sugg and their starting 5, Kiki, I just don't see it happening this year.
Definitely. I know there was issues on the fantasy app with Leah Rue scoring, but it did get added to people's scores today. So I think Eric's the one. He won his matchup. He wasn't winning, and then they added Leah Rue's points, and he ended up winning his matchup. Yeah, that was crazy. That's. I would be mad though, because they weren't adding her points. They just had a fat 0 next to her name. But then she had like 2 good games, I think, or 1 good game during that span.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, that was something that was talked about as well. Last game on Sunday. New York versus Atlanta, Chicago versus LA, Vegas versus Mercury, Connecticut versus Minnesota, Seattle versus Golden State. Obviously, we talked about all these players already. Would you rather have Sammy Whitcomb or Erica Wheeler, though, Meg? Or even Tiffany Hayes. I mean, the top 4. Who would you go for?
I would probably say Erica Wheeler.
Wow. Over Sammy Whitcomb?
As much as
no way.
And the only reason I say that is I take into account the game matchup. And they're playing the Valkyries again. And we know how Seattle lost to the Valkyries. And Erica actually didn't have the best game that game. And I see her bouncing back and having a better game. So I would say Erica.
I'm going to go Sammy. I mean, Vegas isn't like crazy. They're not doing well right now. So I am going Sammy. I mean, other than that, we talked about everyone. I think the rankings stayed the same. I'm trying to see, like, Bridget Carlton. I'm not that hot on Bridget Carlton. She hasn't been doing so well. I mean, should I have put her maybe a little bit lower?
No, that one's tough because you also have Shepard coming back. That one's hard. Because I'm struggling with that one. I have her in my league. And
she would be a drop candidate for me. Like,
But she's only had so far 1 game where she's been under double figures.
But I'm saying, if I'm looking at my lineup, she would probably be the weak link. So, like, she would be a candidate that I could try and pick someone else up for. Would you rather have, let's do it, Bridget Carlton or Leticia Meher?
Leticia.
Would you rather have Bridget Carlton or Sammy Whitcomb?
Sammy.
Would you rather have Bridget Carlton or Niara Sabally?
Niara.
Okay.
I mean, but like the ones above her, I'm gonna say keep it the same. The only one I would consider Nas is a little.
But all of these.
But everyone else, Nas, other than Nas, I would choose over Bridget Carlton. I think Bridget is where she
I had
is
Elizabeth ranked too low on this one. Sorry, I got the news late. You would have her over Elizabeth Williams? That's who I was looking for. I think I'd rather have Elizabeth.
Probably Elizabeth.
Yeah. Okay. We're still working out the kinks of how we're going to do the rankings. Obviously, it's a little bit repetitive. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think is a good strategy? Because I do like breaking down the games and, like, who's available for those games. But then when they shove so many games on a certain day, it does become a little bit repetitive. So, I mean, what are you thinking on that?
I don't know. We'll have to kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, there's really not a great way to do it other than how you're doing it.
Yeah. Open to suggestions. But I do want to have, like, top targets for this week, though, Meg. For me, it changed when Cardoso was out. It didn't change. Just kidding. I'm still doing Tahina Pau as number one. Elizabeth Williams was fighting for that number one.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends if you need a guard or a big. If you need a big, oh my God, if you cash on Elizabeth Williams, I really think that's just gonna give you a good couple of weeks in your big spot. For me, Leticia Meaher, Shug Sutton, Niara Sabally, and Isaiah James, I feel like are my priority going into this week. Who are you thinking, Meg?
Those are good ones. I would agree. I mean, I like Golden State's matchups. I think Bibby's been doing a good job. I mean, if Tiffany Hayes is out there, gotta grab her. Yeah, I just agree with what you got. You got all the good ones.
Okay. Alrighty. Over to our Q&A. Make sure to drop your questions, any fantasy questions you have in the chat, and we will answer them. First off, is Aaliyah Edwards ever going to be fantasy relevant this season? No.
I don't think so.
Unless she's traded to someone that needs a big, honestly. Is it worth to stash Jonquel Jones on IR?
I don't think so. I think you gotta... I mean, it depends. Like, if you're already, like... how many games? 5 games? If you're 5-0...
This is my thing. If you have an empty IR slot, hold on to her.
Why not until you need to?
Exactly. That's always rule of thumb. Just fill your IR spot until you come to the point where it's like, no, I really rather have this player on my IR, and then you just boot her. Mm-hmm. She's gonna be out. Can you check when playoff starts so we can kind of calculate that? But 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, we're almost I think we're halfway already for fantasy schedule. Who would you keep among Erica Wheeler, Veronica Burton, and Temi? Okay. I think I would keep Erica, but it just kind of depends on if you need that big with Temi, though. Oh, it says, my plan of action is to bring Temi from IR and drop Erica and Burton. I would have to keep 2 of 3, but it's struggle to win any matchup without any waiver spot.
Looking at this, you have Mabry, Hayes, Citron, and McBride. It looks like you might need more in the post space. And like you said, Timmy will be that person on this team that you could go to the waiver wire, drop and pick up. So I don't think it's bad.
For which way?
To hold Timmy and drop Erica and Burton. I think it just depends on the games, how the games play out first. Like, if all your guards are playing, then of course you need that post player. But if most of your posts are playing and it works out during the week, then, you know what I mean? Because it's all about when the teams play, how they overlap for the week.
Yeah, but I mean, Temi, you don't have to make that decision right now. Temi's not back yet.
Yeah, but he's just asking to bring Timmy from IR and drop Erica and Veronica Burton. Yeah. I'm assuming he's saying when he has to do that, right?
Yeah.
Or he or she.
Mm-hmm. Temi or Louisa? Temi or Louisa? I'm really high on Louisa. But I understand why people want to keep Temmie.
I would say Temmie. I feel like it's just, I don't know, consistency there.
Oh, Temmie, Louisa, or Morrow?
Temmie. Because I'm just afraid that Connecticut can fluctuate with Morrow. The fact that even yesterday that they're getting blown out, why wouldn't you stick with the rookie? Let her get that time and let her, you know, regardless if she was a starter and you pulled the starters, like she's still young, give her that time. So I didn't really like that yesterday.
I think Temmie's the safest option.
Yeah.
So I would stick Temmie. 2 out of Morrow, Carrington, Louisa, Shepherd. Ooh.
Right now?
Do you have to drop Louisa?
I would go Morrow. Oh, I mean,
if
assuming I'm able to get her from waivers, but Carrington you should be able to put on IR. So I would try to grab her, put her on IR. Even Louisa, try to grab either one of them, put them on IR so that you can get 3 essentially.
Yeah.
Then you could do Morrow and Shepherd.
It depends how many IR spots they have.
Well, no, they just have 1. It sounds like Carrington's not for sure that they can get on waivers. So if not, if you could just get one or the other, because Louisa's probably on IR. If you have 2 IR spots, you can put both of them. But if not, keep Louisa on IR, pick up Shepherd and Morrow for the 2 empty spots.
Yep, good idea. Is Tahina Pow recent performance a hot streak, or could we expect this to be the norm?
I call it a hot streak.
Ooh, why?
I don't know that she'll be able to put up big numbers consistently through like playoffs and everything for fantasy wise.
Interesting. I would say that she's a great waiver wire pickup. I don't see like me holding on to her forever, but I'm riding the hot hand. I just think the way she's been performing, it shows confidence. It shows her being relaxed, her team trusting her, and that's not a hot streak. That is fitting into a system really well. So we're split, but I mean, I don't think I would still think she would probably be someone that you can continue to drop and maybe have available, and people are going to just continue to use her. But it's just another gem on the waiver wire that you can use.
Yeah.
In the chat, is there any news on how serious, I'm guessing Lexi Held, right? Lexi Held's injury is? There hasn't been an update on that. I think it was her ribs, right?
Chest.
Was it her chest?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't look good when it happened. And Phoenix is doing well. I doubt they rush her back. Would you take what? Would you take Elizabeth over Temmie?
No. I think I would take Temmie.
Well, Temmie's not helping you right now.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth could help you, but Elizabeth's also going to help you until Cardoso's back. But she was doing well when Cardoso was there, so if you need someone now, go with Elizabeth. If you don't, sure, stick with Temmie. What do you think about trading Arike for Angel?
That depends. It's guard for post, so
yeah. Do you need a big?
They're both. Yeah, Arike's really good for guards. Angel's been good for post, so it just depends on need.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will accept that, especially if they're guard needy.
Yeah.
Akol Makani, Cunningham, or Laksa? Akol Makani for me. Laksa's been doing really consistent though.
Yeah, especially if Held's out too.
Yes, if Held's out, Laksa is more dependable,
right?
In my opinion.
But you got to go with the starter. The minutes she's actually been picking up too, fantasy wise. So
yeah, she's been doing very well. Any other questions? Make sure to put them in the chat. If you joined late, yeah, we're trying to work out a new format to go over waiver wire pickups. It changes every I feel like every week there's someone else that pops out that we need to talk about. But I do like it from the perspective of let's look at the waiver wire for this day and see what's out there and kind of give you guys that perspective. I do like that. But we had mentioned like it does get repetitive towards the end where it's like, okay, these are the same players we had talked about. So that's something we're going to keep working on. We're open to suggestions as well. Love to hear them. Oh, Temmie's team's out of Euro basketball. She's coming back soon.
Nice.
So Temmie, keep Temmie.
I'm going Temmie, yeah.
Okay, Temmie. Temmie's the safe bet. Obviously, Temmie coming back is going to hurt Monique.
It's hard to keep up with all
Leticia.
this Euro basketball.
So enjoy Leticia this week. while you can, or however long. I think they should continue to utilize her as much as they can. She's long. She's so good. The fact they cut her is so crazy to me still. Oh man, I missed this comment. Trey said I was at the game and saw Jonquil's injury live. That sucks. At first, I really thought it was a knee injury, the way she grabbed her knee, and I was like, oh my god, that's horrible. Then it ended up being an ankle. So man, that is crazy. That's crazy. All right, I'm not seeing too many more questions in the chat. If you guys are just tuning in, we do have a Discord. You can drop our questions in the Discord. The community will answer your questions. We'll also tune in to answer your questions as well. Like we said, working out some kinks, so stay tuned with us. We're figuring it out, but we love to do these lives to answer your guys' questions. Let us know how we're doing. Oh, Meg, how are you doing in your leagues? Let's do a little check-in, little mid-season check-in.
I'm doing good. 2 out of 3 leagues. The champ league, it's rough year.
I'm doing good.
You guys are killing me.
I'm doing good in all my leagues. I'm no longer undefeated, so that came to an end last week. Close losses. They're heartbreakers. But thank you guys so much. Like I said, if you have any additional questions that you didn't get in our live, make sure to join our Discord. The link will be in our description. And we'll answer those questions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. See you guys.
Peace.